To celebrate the release of Fast 10, I thought we should look back at the many, that should have been about 10 manys for 10 movies, times that the Fast movies turned around to the audience, looked them dead in the eye, and gave a massive fuck you to reality. Just a heads up, I'm not including The Rock turning into Captain America and holding onto a bloody moving helicopter, because I'm only focusing on the official Fast and Furious movies, not the Hobbs and Shaw spin-off. Alright, buckle up, this could be a long one. Number 1, Dom catches Letty. Yeah, you can tell this list is in no particular order, because if it was, then going from least to most ridiculous, this probably would have been second to last. This would have been second to last. Imagine what number 10's gonna be, and trust me, I did make number 10 the most ridiculous one, and I think most of you could probably guess which one that is. So in Fast and Furious 6, back in 2013, Letty finds herself stood on top of a moving tank, as you do. Dom's spidey senses tingle that she's about to be yeeted into midair, so naturally he taps his chest to activate his Iron Man suit and BAM! Check it out.
Letty!
The fact that even this movie itself questions how Dom knew that there'd be a fricking car there to break the fall, and then just straight up says,
"How did you know that there would be a car there to break our fall?"
I didn't.
It's still a badass scene though, let's be honest. Number 2, Fast 2 Furious, the car lands on the yacht. Yeah, I mean, I had to make number 2 a scene from Too Fast 2 Furious, didn't I? It's hard to think that there's a Fast and Furious movie out there that doesn't feature Vin Diesel, but that is the case with 2003's Too Fast 2 Furious. Roman and Brian are left to save the day in this one, and somehow do it by saving Eva Mendes' character Monica by driving their car onto a moving yacht. To get the speed that we'd need to have to be able to make the car stay in the air for this long, how the fuck did Brian know that the boat was going to be lined up perfectly with an incline at the end of the road that he didn't even know was there? You just know that if Vin Diesel's character Dom did this, he would just shake it off and walk away without a scratch, unlike these two betas. Number 3, Dom gets married in his tank top. Okay, so this one isn't really unrealistic, but come on, it's too funny not to put in. I can't say I even remember noticing it when watching the movie for the first time. I guess it doesn't count as unrealistic when it's in character for Dom. I mean, he looks good, he's rocking it, but it's hardly wedding attire, is it? But you gotta flex those gains.
Oh yeah!
I mean, look at Letty looking all gorgeous as always, and then Dom just put on nicer trousers. I mean, ugh, man, am I right? Never making the effort. Number 4, Harry and Meghan get car chased by paparazzi for over 2 hours. Oh wait, sorry, my bad. That's a completely separate, unrealistic car incident. Number 4, Dom shatters the ground beneath him. You know in those times where you just feel like you want the ground to swallow up and eat you? That doesn't make sense. You know in those times where you just want the ground to open up and swallow you? Have you ever thought about how you'd like that to happen to one of your enemies? Because it happened to Dom's. Dom clearly knew he had the power of an earthbender, because how on earth would he have had the compliments? The compliments? See, the earth pun that wasn't even that good has just ruined my line. I mean, Dom clearly knew that he was an earthbender, because how else would he have had the confidence to say this line before doing what he did?
Thing about street fights, the street always wins.
I mean, just imagine if he delivers the stomp after he says that, and then the ground breaks underneath him too. How did he know that wouldn't happen? I mean, he knew that by stomping just right in that stomp he'd be fine, but Shaw would be swallowed because reasons? It really makes me laugh too that he says,
The street always wins.
but they're actually on the roof of a car park. Also, small detail I noticed during the fight before the stomp, Dom gets whacked in the face by a metal pole clearly on his right side, but then for the rest of the scene the wound from it is on his left. Dom even has the power to move injuries now, damn! This scene also ends with Dom taking out a helicopter in midair using his Discord Nitro or some shit, and then Letty screaming, worrying that he's been killed, but she forgets he's Dom motherfucking Toretto, man. and he can fly, and he has the skin of Luke Cage. Number 5, Hobbs becomes Superman. You just saw Dom shatter the earth, but what about Hobbs shattering his cast? I looked like a pirate when I did that. Arr.
Daddy's gotta go to work.
How does he do this, you ask? By being alpha. I mean, what else is there to say about this scene? I mean, it speaks for itself, right? Not only does he see some wild explosions and shit going on and just assume that it's Vin Diesel, but he also has everything he needs and all of his military gear with him in the hospital, and then just somehow knows exactly where to go and when to save everyone. Number 6, Japan being stuck in 2006. Okay, so one of my most successful videos here on YouTube was me breaking down the timeline of the MCU and how a gazillion shows and movies fit into the canon. Go check it out if you're a Marvel fan and you haven't seen it yet. And even though there's way less movies in this franchise, I still can't get my head around how I'll make this one work. Although he appears in the end in a cameo role, Vin Diesel and any other characters across the franchise are absent in the third movie, Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. That movie was very much its own thing, and then it became very important in the timeline as things progressed and almost became too canon. Being the third movie and coming out after Fast 1 and 2, it's fair to assume that the movie is set in the year that it was released in 2006. I mean, everybody has flip phones, old laptops, one of the cars he drives is a 2006 model, a dude is mad for being sold a broken iPod, plus there's Bow Wow. I mean, can you get any more 2006 than Bow Wow? However, we have to believe that this movie somehow took place more around 2014. It's amazing to think that Japan of all countries would be so far behind the technological times. So here's what happened. Fast 4 came out in 2009 and was basically a reboot that for the most part only acknowledges the first movie and is a continuation of the story between Dom and Brian. As the movies go on, it's made clear that Tokyo Drift happens between Fast 6 and Fast 7. This is mainly as a way to retcon Han's death so they could bring him back in Fast 4 and 5, without explaining how he died in Fast 3 Tokyo Drift, even though they ended up bringing him back in Fast 9 anyway and saying that his death was faked. You following? The funniest part about all this for me though, is Sean from Tokyo Drift cameoing in Fast 7. Why, you ask? I'm glad you did. Well, that's because the movie takes this Vin Diesel cameo from the end of Tokyo Drift and says it's happening during Fast 7. So chronologically, we go from this scene in 2006 to this scene in around 2015. I mean, damn son, how tough was that race that it caused you to age so fast? Dude's face and hairline must have been seriously pulled back with that G-force. You know what though? I love this. As funny as it is to joke about how pretty much everyone in these movies who dies comes back and returns somehow anyway, I do appreciate the effort to make older movies canon. I feel like bringing back people from the earlier movies is a great way to say to the audience, hey, don't worry, you didn't waste your time on those movies. You don't have to be collateral damage to our studio and backstage problems. We're going to try and do our best to tie all of this in together as a thank you for sticking with every movie we made under the Fast and Furious umbrella. I guess in a way it's quite fitting as well, isn't it? Like, everyone comes back because you never leave family behind. Maybe that's just me because I'm a sucker for continuity, but let me know what you think. I feel like a good example about what I'm trying to say about maybe wasting your time on old movies, the Terminator series, and someone saying, hey, forget this, this and this, because just focus on this one that we liked, this one we liked, and this one that we've made now. But just wait though, because you know the next time somebody dies in Fast and Furious, they're going to bring them back with time travel. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them, would you? Number 7, the car jumps across 2 buildings. Fast 7 for me is the best of the entire franchise, even for the very classy and terrific ending alone that they were able to give Paul Walker after he sadly passed away. I think the emotion behind it all, the locations, the cars, the stunts, and the brilliant song all made for a great movie.
When I see you again,
The stunt that will always be remembered most in this movie is undoubtedly the car jump between Etihad Towers in Abu Dhabi. Brian and Dom have to escape shore from one of the top floors of the skyscraper. Luckily though, the reason that they were even up there in the first place was to steal a hacking device that they needed, which was hidden inside of a billionaire's car. This really is one of those moments where they just abandon reality altogether in this franchise. Somehow Dom is able to pick up enough speed whilst turning several times to avoid being shot at, to be able to temporarily fly the freaking car across to the other building. How did he do it then? Because he's Dom motherfucking Toretto, that's why. I mean, the car even gets hit with a fucking grenade launcher by Shaw and it barely affects its trajectory. Although Vin Diesel and Paul Walker did like to do their own stunts, this was done by a stunt driver driving through glass walls in a soundstage. Now you petrol heads out there would distinctly remember that the car in this scene was a Lykan Hypersport. There are actually only 7 of these cars made, all valued at around 3.4 million each. And in the movie they completely totaled it like I do doing any stunt jump in GTA. So naturally this car wasn't used to the stunt and they had to use a much cheaper model. On screen though you will see what appears to be a completely destroyed Lykan Hypersport. Number 8, Hobbs becomes Superman. Again. Breaking a cast with a broken arm is nothing compared to sliding a torpedo towards a truck whilst hanging out of a car that's driving on ice. I mean again, what can I say about this scene? The fact that this works at all, the fact that this door stays open, the fact that the rock is strong enough to affect the trajectory of a 3,000 pound fucking torpedo, the fact that the ice doesn't break at all at any point, the fact that he can keep his feet to the fucking ground and stay standing like this. Man, why do I love this fucking franchise so much? I let more things slide than that fucking torpedo did. Number 9, stealing the safe. I mean, I shouldn't really have questioned the Rock single-handedly moving a torpedo that weighs about 3,000 pounds, when in Fast 5 they moved a safe that probably weighed about 10 times more than that, just with their cars. In fact, only Dom's car at one point. As usual with the Fast movie, if you get hit by something or have to make sharp turns to avoid being hit during a chase, don't worry, it'll never slow you down. You really got to question who the good guys truly are in this scene. When there's 2 bank robbers hurling a vault across the city, you can't tell me no innocent people didn't get hurt or crushed by this. Also, what the hell is this vault made from to still be this intact? Vibranium? Anyway, Fast 5 might be worth another rewatch if you're planning on going to see Fast 10, because the whole stealing the vault story seems to be playing a big part in the new one. Number 10, going to space. They've really come a long way from stealing DVD players in the first one, huh? When they decided that they were going to go to space in F9, they honestly should have just renamed the movie FU to the audience. I was genuinely convinced that the only way to top this in the next movie and get even faster and more furious was to beat Elon Musk to Mars. Not to colonise it or anything, just to host Race Wars there one year. Oh, I guess they would have had to have called it Space Race Wars or something then. Oh my god, Vin Diesel hit me up, I've got so many sick ideas now. Anyway, in Fast 9 they have to enter orbit to destroy a satellite to stop an upload finishing. And this movie really had the cheek to say how an upgraded Pontiac Fiero could not only enter, but navigate space by saying this.
Numbers don't lie. As long as we obey the laws of physics, then we'll be fine, okay? It's just all math and science.
I knew I should have listened to my teacher.
I'm guessing that also explains how they avoided problems with pressure, temperature, not to mention landing back to Earth safely. I mean, that's blooming impressive. Some of us are still struggling to parallel park, for fuck's sake.
What is she doing? Like, that's just been going on for 20 minutes. Someone else was laughing.
But hey, who needs logic when you've got family?
You fellas good to go?
Yeah, we just up here putting a bunch of duct tape on shit.
Yes, we're good to go.
We're not good. This is the same car that we watched do a test run and explode. This is not smart, Tej.
Let me know in spoiler-free terms what you think about Fast 10 if you've gone to see it, or if you're gonna go see it, how excited you are for the movie, all that good stuff. Let me know what you think is the most implausible thing to have happened in the franchise so far. I know there's loads more, there's a whole bunch load more. I can't fit them all in this video. Maybe we'll do another one day when Fast 11's coming out, or probably, let's be honest, when Fast 37's coming out. I just want to say, as much as I've trashed on this franchise for doing some really ridiculous things, I wouldn't have it any other way. I adore these movies, okay? And even though they don't take themselves seriously, they do just take themselves seriously enough for you to care, and at the end of the day, they're always such a fun time. The stunts and everything in these movies are always visually great, it's always a good time, and I love you, Vin Diesel. I'm just going to put that out there. I really enjoy what you've done. In my mind, we're really on the road to 1,000 subscribers. I really want to get there as soon as possible. I'd really appreciate a subscribe if you've enjoyed this video, and hopefully I'll see you around again. For now though guys, take care and I'll see you in the next one.
I don't believe in destiny, I just do what's best for me. Don't listen to my enemies, they're just full of jealousy. Yeah, this legacy, you gon' see what's left of me. You gon' see success in me, you ain't seen the rest of me. I just wanna be the best at what I know, better than the rest, just watch me grow. Put me to the test and watch me go. This is my quest, I'ma make it known. They call me obsessive, oh I know. Call me selective with my